In a city built on lights, legends, and late nights, something unforgettable has just happened. Bruno Mars, one of the brightest stars of our generation, has wrapped up his glittering Las Vegas residency at the Pinky Ring, and what unfolded on those final nights was more than just music. It was spectacle, it was history, and for the thousands who packed into that intimate velvet-lined room, it was pure magic. But before we take you inside the energy, the tears, the laughter, and the shocking twist of Bruno Mars's final night in Vegas, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with every Bruno Mars fan you know. Because what you're about to see is not just a concert recap, it's a story that will stay with you forever. The Strip, as always, was alive. Neon stretched across the desert sky, tourists spilled onto the sidewalks, and in the center of it all, the Pinky Ring glowed like a golden jewel. This was Bruno Mars's kingdom for months, a residency unlike any other. If you've seen Las Vegas residencies before, you know they're big. Celine Dion ruled the Coliseum. Britney Spears brought spectacle to Planet Hollywood. But Bruno's residency at the Pinky Ring was different. Smaller. Hotter. Wilder. It wasn't just a concert, it was a party, a throwback to old-school Vegas, wrapped in the funk, soul, and swagger that only Bruno Mars could deliver. Our reporter takes us inside. Behind me is the Pinky Ring, where Bruno Mars closed out his residency in spectacular fashion. Fans lined up for hours, some flying in from New York, Miami, even overseas, all desperate to be part of history. And once the doors opened, what they found inside was more than they could ever have imagined. Footage rolls. The crowd is shoulder to shoulder, sequins and champagne everywhere. A woman in a veil screams with her friends, it's her bachelorette party. A man in his 40s holds up a vinyl record of 24K Magic, hoping to get it signed. College kids, grandparents, celebrities, everyone is here. And then the lights drop, Bruno Mars steps out. Not onto a massive arena stage, but into a room where fans are just feet away, close enough to touch. Dressed in his trademark silk shirt, cap tilted back, smile as wide as the Strip itself, Bruno launches into his first song and the place erupts. Every hand goes up. Every voice sings along. And by his side is none other than DJ Velvet Haas, spinning, hyping, building the energy higher and higher. One fan wipes away tears as she tells us, I've been to so many shows in my life, but this was personal. He wasn't performing for an arena, he was performing for us. It felt like he was right there, like he knew exactly what we wanted to hear. The camera cuts to Bruno, dancing, laughing, sharing the mic with Velvet Haas as the room jumps in unison. It's part concert, part nightclub, part church revival. And the best part? No one knows what's coming next. To understand why this residency means so much, we have to rewind. Born Peter Gene Hernandez in Honolulu, Hawaii, Bruno was raised in a musical family. He started performing at just 4 years old, impersonating Elvis, living and breathing rhythm before he even knew what fame was. He chased the dream all the way to Los Angeles, facing rejection after rejection, before finally breaking through. And when he did, he didn't just break through, he exploded. Just the way you are, locked out of heaven, treasure, and of course, the global earthquake that was Uptown Funk. Bruno Mars became a superstar who could do it all, sing, dance, write, produce. The Grammys, the Super Bowl, stadium tours, they all followed. But what Bruno Mars built in Las Vegas was something different. Something more intimate. Something special. Back at the Pinky Ring, you can see why. Bruno doesn't just perform. He connects. He teases the crowd, jokes between songs, steps off the stage and into the audience, hugging fans, even sharing the mic for a few lines. And every single person in the room feels like they're part of the show. A middle-aged man in a suit, holding his wife's hand, says into our camera, I've seen Sinatra here, I've seen Elvis here. And let me tell you, Bruno is right there with them. He's the real deal. The energy builds as the night goes on. Velvet Haas drops beats that melt into Bruno's classics, creating a sound that's equal parts Vegas and vintage soul. The crowd chants, claps, screams. The chandelier shakes above them. It feels less like the end of something and more like the beginning of a movement, and then comes the twist. Bruno stops the music. The room falls silent. He takes a deep breath, looking out at the fans who've danced, laughed, and cried with him for months. "Vegas," he says, voice breaking just slightly, "thank you. Thank you for letting us do this, for making this a home, for making this the best time of my life." The crowd erupts, but he raises his hand. "There's more. And don't you worry," Bruno says, with that signature grin. "This is only the beginning." The audience gasps. Is it a hint? A promise? Could this mean a new album, another residency, or maybe a tour? Bruno doesn't say. He just winks, steps back, and lets the music roar one more time. Fans pour out afterward, voices hoarse, smiles wide, still buzzing from what they just witnessed. One woman in sequins grabs our microphone, shouting over the noise, "Best night of my life." Bruno Mars is the king of Vegas now. Back in the studio, our anchor reflects. From his humble beginnings in Hawaii to the bright lights of Las Vegas, Bruno Mars has proven once again why he is more than a performer. He's an experience. The Pinky Ring residency may be over, but judging by that final night, Bruno Mars is far from finished. If anything, his story is still being written, and the world is watching. So what comes next? A world tour? A new chapter in Vegas? A surprise collaboration? We'll be watching, and so will millions of fans across America. And before we go, if you love this story and want to keep up with every beat of Bruno Mars's journey, make sure you like this video, hit subscribe, drop a comment with your favorite Bruno Mars memory, and share this with your friends. Because just like Bruno said, this is only the beginning, and if the night itself felt larger than life, the story behind it made it even more powerful. Bruno Mars isn't just another artist passing through Las Vegas. He's a performer who understands the city's DNA. Vegas is built on spectacle, on intimacy, on legends who give the audience not just a show, but a memory they'll never forget. Sinatra did it. Elvis did it. And now, Bruno Mars has etched his name into that very same legacy, but what makes this even more remarkable is how different Bruno's residency was from the others. Most residencies are staged in giant theaters, filled with thousands of people staring at a performer who's just a dot in the distance. But the Pinky Ring was something else entirely. The space was intimate, sultry, drenched in gold curtains and velvet shadows. The room held just a fraction of the fans that usually flood arenas, but that's what made it special. Every single person was close enough to see the sparkle in Bruno's eye, the sweat on his forehead, the grin when he cracked a joke between songs. It wasn't a residency for the masses. It was a residency for the chosen few, and that made it unforgettable. One fan from Chicago told us, her voice still shaking, "I've flown here 3 times just to see him at the Pinky Ring. Every time, it feels like he's reinventing the show. You think you know what's coming, and then he surprises you again. It's like being in the middle of music history." Another fan, a couple from Dallas, confessed that they'd saved up for months to attend this final weekend. "We didn't want to miss it. We've seen him on tour, but this felt like Bruno was in our living room, singing just for us." That's the power of residency culture in Las Vegas. It's not just about the music. It's about creating a world, an atmosphere, a once-in-a-lifetime experience that only happens here, and only if you're lucky enough to be inside. And Bruno understood that from day one. So stay tuned. And if you want to keep following every twist, every surprise, and every moment of Bruno Mars's next chapter, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, drop a comment with your favorite Bruno Mars memory, and share this with your friends. Because if this residency has proven anything, it's that Bruno Mars is more than a star. He's an experience. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is only the beginning.